Hey, on this episode of Samp&Chance, you guessed it, me, Chance, the Mexican monster himself, David Benavidez. So guys and gals, strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a very special edition of Samp&Chance. Please do not adjust your screens. Ladies and gentlemen, beside me and in Vancouver, Mr. Chance Michaels, the real Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Brother, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the show, and I'm really happy I'm on here with you guys today.
Fantastic. David, let's just start honestly, man. At the end of the day, when I hear the name David Benavidez, I see warrior, I see this, I see, talent, I see knockout artist, savage. Who is David Benavidez?
So, David, I feel like there's two different David Benavidez. There's a one in the ring, and there's a one, the regular person that every day goes about his business. David Benavidez in the ring, he's a warrior, he's fierce, he's a person that tries to inflict as much damage as possible. You take me out of the ring, I'm the nicest person, I put everybody before myself, and I want to make sure everybody's good. So it's kind of a split identity, but this is what it is in this game. It's either, I don't like to say it because it sounds a little hard, but it's either kill or be killed. You know what I mean? But that's just how it is in boxing, and I'm just very grateful to be here today.
That's fantastic. So we know boxing is a family affair. Everyone in the family is involved. But what was your path to the ring? How did boxing find you, or did you end up finding boxing yourself?
I honestly say, I don't think boxing did find me. It obviously started with my older brother. He's the one that started boxing. He started boxing at 6, and I'd be in the gym with him at 2 years old. Just like how my son is now. It's always funny to see my son because that's exactly how I was. Yeah. So I was just in the gym with him. But to be honest with you, I hated training. I hated everything. I love boxing, but I hated everything about training. And my dad was always strict on me. He was really tough on me. We lived a hard childhood because my dad he was a man. He was disciplined, very disciplined us a lot. But there's just something about boxing that I fell in love with. What can you not love about beating people up? You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
It's been a blessing. You know what I mean? There's been so much times that I tried to quit boxing when I was younger, but there's always been something calling me back to boxing. So I think this is my calling. I don't think this is my calling, and I'm just, like I said, I'm very happy for all the work I've put in. I'm very grateful for my father, very grateful for my mother, my brother, and all my family has pushed me to this moment.
Fantastic.
Hey, David, could you share with everybody your emotions when you had your first pro fight at the age of 16?
So my emotions, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was scared as shit. I was super scared. Not only because I didn't believe in myself, because it's when you go from amateur to professional, it's completely different. You're fighting with little gloves, no headgear. So it was just a rush of emotion, of nervous energy, But then after the first round, got comfortable, got into the fight, and then I stopped the guy in the first round, and it was really stressful. I'm not gonna lie, my first fight really stressful.
At the age of 16 as well, I mean, a lot of pressure. I understand you left school and stuff like that to pursue this career. So that's crazy. Was your first fight in Mexico?
Yeah, my first fight in Mexico was in Mexico. My dad, so let me give you the whole background about that. I had been boxing since I was 2 years old, but my parents divorced when I was 7.
Okay.
So I was back and forth with my mom's and my dad's. My brother had won the Golden Gloves national tournament, and then he was getting scouted by all these promotion companies. So he and my father moved to Los Angeles. They lived in North Hollywood, to be exact. They're living in an apartment that Freddie Roach had right next to the Wild Card.
Cool.
So around this time, I went to move with my mom because I wanted to stay with my mom, and it was my first break I've had my whole life of boxing. I didn't box for like a year and a half, and I was 170 before they left. After they left, 7 months later, I was 250. Oh. So I remember there was this point, I was in 7th grade, this is really what turned me to become a professional boxer and really put my own to boxing. I was in 7th grade at the time. I had 9 years boxing, my whole life. But since I was a fat kid, I remember going up, and it's funny because the teacher's name was Mr. Drummond.
Mhm.
And we're he's for some reason I shook his hand, he felt my hands like, wow, you have really soft hands. Like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I don't know. I the only thing I do is box. And he told me, how long have you been boxing for? I said 9 years. The whole class started laughing at me. Everybody started laughing at me, and I'm just so pissed off. I'm like, I've wasted my whole life boxing, and these people don't even believe that I'm a boxer. And then it was just a wait till I looked at myself one day in the mirror. It was just I had got to this point. I told myself it's either I lose weight or I'm gonna hit a point of no return where I'm just gonna be big, and I'm my whole life that I wasted boxing it's not gonna amount to nothing because I'm overweight and I'm not gonna be nothing. So there I made the decision to go with my dad and my brother. I moved to Hollywood. And it was just funny because my brother, he was always very talented. And they would tell everybody at the gym, oh, you think Jose is good? He has a younger brother. Wait till he gets here. So I still remember the first day I got to the gym, a little fat kid. Like, is this the kid you were talking about? Like, bro, this dude is fat. He can't do nothing. So that I feel like what really inspired me and motivated me to train was just to prove everybody wrong.
Right.
So that was where I really got the energy. I started having these legendary sparrings in the gym where I would just beat up grown men. I was 14 years old, a little butterball, 13 years old, beating grown men, that are really powerful, really strong. And then I started sparring world champions and stuff. And then I would get scared a lot because these grown men, the first real champion I sparred was named Latif Coyote. He was from Kenya.
Oh, wow.
And he's real African dude. He had scars on his face because they said that when he was born over there, they'd mark him and they'd scar his whole face. And then my dad told me one day, he's like, you're gonna spar him. And I'm there shitting my pants. I'm like, bro, like this dude's big. He's a grown man. I'm a little kid. But I told my dad, if you have confidence in me that I could go in there and I could, do good with this guy, then, I know you're not gonna put me in there to get killed. But it was a hard sparring, but the best has always come out of me when I get in those hard situations, hard sparrings. So that's really how I made my momentum. I was sparring champion to champion. I sparred Golovkin before he ever made his US debut. Yeah. And we had a great sparring session. So I really just gave me all the experience I needed to go in there and be who I am today. That's why I feel like I'm a monster and I'm relentless and nobody's going to take that from me because I used to battle world champions as a little kid. And these were not friendly sparring sessions. We're going to keep going until somebody gets knocked out. Let's see who backs off first.
How was it with Triple G?
It was great. That taught me a lot. Awesome. He really did teach me a lot. And that guy, I salute him because he's a great dude. He's a great teacher. He's a great man all around. And I just learned a lot from being with him. And then, started getting into my fights, more confidence. And here we are today.
Awesome.
David, how have you overcome adversity in your career so far?
So the adversity, I've had a lot of adversity in my career and in my life. Sometimes, if I'm being honest with you, when a fat kid like me comes up, he has no friend. He has a little bit of friends, but that didn't have really self-esteem. Mm-hmm. So I would get invited to parties and stuff like this, and I did stuff I wasn't supposed to do, and I paid for it.
Right.
But I feel like for me in my life, all the lessons that I've got, that I put myself in bad situations, I've always been blessed. There's something that's been guiding my life that I've been blessed. Because when I got suspended for what I got suspended for, I was in Vegas and I moved here to Seattle. I met my fiance and we had a baby. If I would have never got suspended, I would never have my son, Anthony.
Absolutely.
So it's just I don't know. I feel like I'm getting, somebody's like not controlling my life, but leading me into the right path. I mean, there's been a lot of adversity, but as a man, you feel like if you make the mistakes, you have to look at your life and see that sometimes the things I'm not doing is wrong, and I have to hold myself accountable.
Sure.
And I've been trying to live my life the right way. The past couple of years. Now it's God, boxing, and family, and that's really how I live today. And everything's going amazing.
That's amazing. This actually segues right into the next question that I have. What are your? It's part of me here. How important is faith and family to you? Like, how do you separate the warrior from the family man? Does that become conflicting when you're training or getting ready for a major fight?
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't conflict it. It only like kind of goes into my family life when I'm like 3 weeks left to the fight, and there's no taking the warrior out 3 weeks away from the fight. So I mean, sometimes I'm a little grumpy, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just that if you do things right, the Lord and God will reward you. You know what I mean? And it's just like I said, that goes back to, you know, putting everybody before myself. You know, I like to see a lot of people happy. I do a lot of stuff for my people, and I feel like I get rewarded, you know, after I take care of everybody. And like I said, man, it's just a blessing. Every day I wake up is a blessing, and I'm just happy to be where I'm at today.
That's awesome, brother. All right, so we know David Benavidez now. We understand him a lot better, and you know this is great. So let's talk a little boxing, can we?
Yeah.
Awesome. So next weekend, no surprise to anybody. We got Charlo and Canelo. What are your thoughts on that fight? And how do you manifest yourself in the bigger picture? Because in my personal opinion, he's got 3 fights with PBC. He can't run from you anymore, brother.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the fight and your manifestation of yourself playing out as maybe number 3 on
Yeah.
his list here?
So right now, I'm gonna talk as a point of view of not being biased. You
No,
know, I'm
100%.
gonna give Charlo. He's a great fighter. Canelo's a great fighter, but I just feel like it's just too much. Charlo's coming up too much in weight. You know what I mean? I feel like
21 pounds.
yeah, Canelo, he's strong right now. He's comfortable at that weight class. But you know, I'm not gonna take nothing away from Charlo. I'm not gonna say it's an easy fight for Canelo because it's not. Charlo's talented and he's bigger than Canelo, so it's gonna be a good fight. But I just feel like Canelo's going to take it. And this might be a tough fight. It might be a split decision fight, or Canelo might stop in the late rounds with body shots. Because if you look at Charlo, he's susceptible to the left hooks to the head and to the body. So, so it's going to be a great fight. But what I do want to say is, I feel like we're going to manifest this because Canelo's going to beat Charlo, and then Canelo's supposed to fight Charlo, another one. But my brother's going to fight him on my card in the co-main event.
Exclusive.
And my brother, he's gonna win the fight. So then after we take the other Charlo out the equation, then it's just me and Canelo right there. So I feel like these past years, I've been number 1 contender for the past 2 years.
Yes.
I haven't been making a lot of noise because it's not my style to go in there and just keep disrespecting and just, you know, I don't really like all that social media stuff and just, you know, saying the same thing over and over and over again. I feel like the fans, they're gonna put pressure on the promotion company and the fighters to make this fight happen. And I believe I'm the best at 168. You know, I believe that Canelo's never seen nobody like me. My speed and my power, my footwork and everything I have. And I'm just motivated. I'm hungry for this fight. You know, I'm hungry. I see it and I want it. And we're going to go take all his belts.
No, 100%. I agree. I think Canelo's going to take it. In my opinion, what makes him scary, he wants to prove something right now. You know what I mean? That's really scary.
Yeah, but the thing about me is I want to prove. I don't care about proving it to the world. I want Canelo to know that I'm better than him. I want him to say that David Benavidez is just a better man.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to make happen. Okay. But it's not going to be an easy fight at all. You know what I mean? But this is, like I said, going back to when I was a little kid, when I get put in that situation where I really have to fight with the best will come out of me. And I know that for a fact. So that's why I'm calm, cool, calm, collective, you know, right now. And I'm going to just keep winning, man. Awesome. They're not going to be able to run for me for too long because I'm not going there.
Absolutely.
David, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to be remembered by the fans?
So when it's all said and done, I want to be the greatest in my generation. And it's funny because I've been doing like a lot of soul searching lately, and I've been trying to think of more manifestation. I used to think back then, oh, I want to be the greatest. No, you have to tell yourself, I am the greatest. You have to believe you're the greatest, because once you speak those words, the body starts to believe it. Absolutely. And if you put in the work, you got faith in God, and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, the world kind of like makes everything work in your favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm going to be the greatest. I am the greatest. That's and awesome. I'm just working, like I said, I want to be 3 division weight champion. I'm at 168. I'm not going to be here for too much longer. 168, I'm going to go up to 75. I sparred Bivol, almost dropped him twice. Wow. I sparred him a lot. He's a great fighter. Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
But then I could go up to cruiserweight and maybe heavyweight. You know what I mean? So we're just I've been boxing for 23 years now. You know, so now I feel like this is a moment that matters most in my life, and this is the most dedicated I've been in my whole life. You know, I got family, I got God, I got everything on my side. So I'm going to just go, I'm going to make these goals for myself. I'm going to reach for the sky, but we're going to accomplish all the goals I set out.
The stars are aligned, my friend. The stars are aligned. So, Boo Boo.
Yeah, Boo Boo.
What can we share?
Boo Boo. Yeah, so we're going to fight November 25th. We don't know exactly what location it's going to be. It's either Texas or Las Vegas. But it's going to be a great fight, man. I feel like Boo Boo, he's been wanting an opportunity, you know, and I've been wanting to fight him for a long time. I don't want no easy fights no more. You know, I want the hardest fights I could possibly get. Boo Boo, he's up there. Once I beat him, I'm gonna have even more respect and I'm gonna have more experience in the ring. This is gonna be my second pay-per-view fight. So once we get to the Canelo fight, we're gonna be real comfy in there. So it's time to get it.
What were the options for you, if you can share that? Because last time we talked, we were talking Munguia and
Yeah,
whatnot,
so Munguia too. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but Munguia, we were negotiating for like 2 months. I thought it was gonna happen. It was a really big fight. Last minute, they pulled out. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was a fighter, the manager, whatever, but they pulled out. We were expected to fight him, and it didn't happen. So, then I called out him and I said, you know what, Boo Boo's on the table. Let's get him, and that's where we're at right now.
That's awesome, brother, man. All right, so what we like to do, if possible, we play a little game called, it's like triggers, right? Chance is going to shoot out 5 names to you, and just your instant reaction to those guys. So let's go, Chance.
Let's do it. All right, David. Manny Pacquiao.
A phenom with extreme speed and power.
Nice. We already mentioned him earlier. You mentioned him. Triple G.
That guy, he's a living legend, great man, a great teacher as well.
Nice. The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
He's a character. He's a giant. he's a funny guy, but he's an awesome champion.
Nice. And one of your stablemates, our Canadian brother, Cody the Crippler Crowley.
Oh, he's a great fighter, man. He's a great boxer. And he's a great man too. I've seen his last his post-fight interview, and I just respect that guy so much. And he's a great man.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Canelo.
He's a great fighter, but he's a duck.
Fair enough. How did you feel after the Caleb fight? Was that what you were expecting it to be, or did it exceed your expectations?
So now you brought that up, I got a couple stories for that fight.
Sure.
So that fight, I mean, man, it was definitely an experience. My first pay-per-view fight. It was everything I thought it was going to be and more. It was probably the most fun I've ever had in one fight.
Yeah.
If you see me, I was smiling from ear to ear the
100%.
the whole fight. And I gained a lot of respect for Caleb, and I know he gained my respect too.
Was that real heat?
Yeah, it was. I didn't like him for like 4 years. Okay. For a long time. So it was real. But it was great, man. Everything about it, the press conference and all, everything was amazing. So now that fight, after that fight, it woke something up in me. It just made me way more motivated, way more hungrier. That's why I'm saying I'm more dedicated now than I've ever been in my life, because I just want to keep showing people that I am the best, and I want to keep putting on great fights like that. Everybody's told me about that fight, like, we had the best time. That was one of the greatest fights we've ever seen live. And that's just what I want to do. I want to be an entertainer. I want to entertain people like that with great fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we get to the next question, that fight, I got poisoned that fight. So we eat after the weigh-ins, we go eat the food, and then I'm in bed by 10, and my fiance's up like 11. But then I wake up again at 2 a.m. and there's like a waiter going in my room from the hotel.
Wow.
And they put a pizza, a cheesecake, and a Coke right there. So I'm like, he comes out, he leaves the room. So I'm like, well, my fiance must have ordered it.
Yeah.
I go downstairs, I see the pizza is looking good. I'm like, oh, well, I'm a little hungry. And now I took a bite of the pizza, but something was telling me, it's like that pizza's not good. And then immediately I thought about the Michael Jordan flu game, and they brought on the pizza. So then I'm kind of tripped out in my head. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm just overthinking. I go upstairs and I tell my fiance, I'm like, hey, Karina, the pizza and cake you ordered downstairs, it's downstairs just for my self-free insurance. It's like, I didn't order anything. It's like, you didn't order the pizza, the cheesecake, or the soda. I didn't order none of that. So immediately I went downstairs and I made myself throw up. And the next day I felt a little weak. I felt a little tired, but I didn't let that get to me at all. And before the fight too, I went to the bathroom like 7 times. It was like my stomach was real messed up.
Oh wow!
Literally right before the fight, like an hour leading up to it, I was using the bathroom. I even had they were putting my gloves on. I had to tell them to take it off so I go to the bathroom. So I did 7 times.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, I don't really want to make a big deal about it either, because at the end of the day, it's the MGM.
Yeah.
I want to keep fighting them.
Absolutely.
I don't want to big deal.
I get it.
But now I know now not to accept food from any, or if If it's
Unless
food
it's
goes
from-
in there,
yeah.
we make the food, and
or
that's how
directly
I
from the family, right?
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So in that fight, this I was curious because when I was watching, I'm thinking, what's Caleb doing?
Yeah,
I felt like he was getting everything he had in that first 3 rounds. He showed everything.
yeah.
Did you get the same impression? And did that change your game plan and everything?
No, I knew immediately that he was gonna move around. He hugged a lot.
Yeah.
I even see the video of TikTok where they counted the hugs. He hugged me like 65
Yeah,
times,
a lot
probably
of
70,
clinches. Yeah.
and they didn't take no points away from him. So I knew. See, when I spar here, I'll do 15 rounds, 4 different guys.
Right.
Sometimes it might be 5 guys. I'll go up to 17.
Right.
So I knew 100% what he was gonna do. I knew he's gonna move around, but at the end of the day, he was gonna tire himself out.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he tired himself out when he stood in front of me. That's when I started doing more damage and stuff. But he was a good fighter. He was a really good fighter. He had me keep moving my feet, and it was hard. It was hard to cut the corners from him because he kept moving. He moved a lot. But like I said, this is experience I need. You know what I mean? And we had it was a great fight, and the crowd was crazy, man. It was like it was surreal. It was like something I've always dreamt about, and it lived up to the expectation.
That's fantastic, man. David, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show with us today. This has been a privilege and an honor. We're just a couple dudes from Vancouver.
Yeah,
And we have a unique product that no one in Vancouver is doing this. So
yeah,
thank you for taking the time, the energy from your family. It's a Saturday afternoon.
yeah,
You could be doing so many amazing things,
yeah,
but you're hanging out with me.
yeah. Thank you.
And I'm blessed and I'm privileged, and we're both blessed and privileged.
Thank you, and thank you for letting us watch you train when we came down. I appreciate that.
I just want to say something to like the kids that
Yeah.
train and
Yeah.
stuff. Honestly, whatever you want to do, if you want to be a world champion or you want to be a basketball player, whatever, you're gonna have to put as much work as you can as possible, and always want to do better. Even I tell my guys at the gym too, just because you're done boxing doesn't mean you're done for the day. And what I mean about that is you try to work as much as you can, or if you get home, I just watch boxing all day. So I'm always learning. I'm always learning. I watch hours and hours and hours of boxing. So if you really want to elevate yourself, you got to put in as much work as you can to get there, because you're not going to get rewarded with putting half-ass work. You know what I mean? There's thousands of people putting half-ass work, but the ones that get to the top are the ones that really put their life and soul on the line, and really work as hard as they can. So, and then also too, another thing that goes hand in hand with this is I've had personal experiences is if you're nice to everybody, if you put everybody before you, you make sure everybody's good. If you're nice, even when people's not looking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God will put they'll put plays into your life with things just fall into place. I've had twice that it's happened to me. I was paying in a training camp, and at the time I was 23, I was paying my house off. I got it. It was like 800,000. And then I'm still paying a training camp of 65,000, 70,000. So I was down to like $20,000, $10,000, and I still had 3 months to go. So I'm just waiting. There was like, no, we had a month to go to the fight, and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And I prayed. I'm like, please, if you could just help me. I just need $10,000. The next day, I get a sponsor. Somebody hits me up saying we want to sponsor you, and they said how much? I said 10,000. The next day, it was in my account.
That's beautiful.
That happened to me twice.
The Father works in mysterious ways, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like people, especially with all this stuff going on now, man, the music and all this stuff, a lot of these people are really bad influence. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it sucks to see it because we're seeing it in real time. You know what I mean? So I just feel like keep your faith in God. Always be a good person, even when nobody's looking, and God will take care of you.
Absolutely. All right. Before we end, I just had one more question, if I could. As a kid growing up, as a boxing fan, take Benavidez out of the ring now. You're just a fan watching. Who were your mentors and who were your favorite boxers growing up?
My favorite boxers were Prince Nassim Hamed, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Marco Antonio Barrera, Mike Tyson. The list goes on and on. As like I'm saying, I'm a student. I love boxing. I watch boxing all day, but those are the top. And it's just it's been a really cool experience because I met a lot of those people, and it's just like once they have the same respect that you have for them, it's just something that you can't buy. It's something unexplainable. It makes you even more hungry.
Did you see his son Adam fight?
Who?
Prince Nassim's son?
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah,
You see,
Yeah.
about it though. I love
Yeah,
this
yeah.
comment. It's like, why are they all comparing him to me?
Yeah.
No one can compare to me.
Yeah,
That guy's genius, man.
yeah.
All right, David, thank you so much, brother, for coming on the show. I'm Bobby
Thank
Samp,
you.
Chance Michaels. In the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Everybody, have a great weekend. Please be safe. If you're going to drink, if you're going to do your thing, do it. Be happy. But just remember, you have family. So put the keys away because we want you to come back for the Tuesday show. Samp and Chance out.